I remember when I joined, there was a lot of young Christians. I thought it was like only going to be going and finding new people. But when I realized like, oh, it's also like going to help young Christians grow and to support them. It's a little bit embarrassing, but like I had almost no experience with that. Like I feel like that has been rewarding just to understand how to take responsibility for other people.
Well, good to see you, Joakim and Anya.
Good evening, Color Day. It's good to be with
Yeah,
you.
Good to see you too.
so happy to have you on. I remember we had our first interview with Joakim, and that was really exciting. And now I'm glad that people can get to know a little bit more about Anya as well.
That's nice.
It was months before a wedding or something like that. It's good to be
You
back.
see, like this is what happens on Revive. People get married sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took us a little bit more than one revive, so be
But-
ready for that.
You hear that, guys? It might happen to you. So you guys, right now you're in Moldova.
Yes.
Yeah, and what have you been doing right now?
Yeah, so Anya and I, we got married and we were leading Revive in Moldova last year, the team here. And we're in the process of moving to Denmark, but we decided to stay in Moldova for a number of reasons. It's good to be close to the church that we've known for so long, where we build our whole relationship, as we're already experiencing a big change of being married. And then it takes a while to get documents for Denmark. We just applied 2 weeks ago. No, a week and a half ago. Hopefully. We'll see when the answer comes. It could be next week. It could be in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we're helping out with the church here still. I'm doing an internship and Anya is also working. And then we use our free time to help out
Awesome.
in the next gen ministry here in Moldova.
Come on, great. That's awesome. I how many years were you guys on Revive?
3 years. Or
3
Anya,
years.
you were a bit longer.
3.5 years, me.
Okay, cool, awesome. So I want us to unpack a little bit of that, and so I'm super excited for today's time. Maybe you guys can start by telling us a little bit about yourselves. Like, how did you become Christians? Where did you grow up? Because that's super interesting.
Do you understand?
Okay, I can do
You're
it.
the oldest.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm actually from Vladivostok, Russia, so it's really far. And I became a Christian when I was 15 years old. My mom became a Christian when I was just 1. So I kind of grew up in church, but I wasn't really that close to the Bible or to the church. But during my teen years, I started to study the Bible, and it really helped me to see how good God is. And I just remember looking around people around me and always thinking like, okay, you need God. You can't see it in your life. You need God. God help me. So I just had this desire to talk about God wherever I go. So yeah, that's how I kind of became a disciple. And what should I say more? What was the continuation? Like how I came here?
So you became a disciple when you were 15 years old,
Yeah.
and you were in Vladivostok, Russia.
Yeah.
Is that like a big church? Like, what's that church like?
Yeah, the church is actually like approximately 200, 220 people. So it's pretty normal church. And we had, pretty good youth group where I grew. So it was really helpful.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for sharing, Anya. And what about you, Joakim?
Yeah. For me, 220, that's a huge church. I grew up in Denmark, in the church there. Like both of my parents became disciples before I was born. And I grew up as one of the oldest, or kind of the oldest of the children in the church in Denmark. And I grew up like having some faith in God. I think not really knowing what it meant. Like it was my identity to tell people at school that I was a Christian, but I didn't really know like how to pray or what does a Christian do other than not swear and go to church? Like that was a simple picture. But then I started to study the Bible when I became a teen and was moved both by God's love for me that I understood through the scriptures and through the brothers who were reading the Bible with me, because I had a lot of insecurities and problems with my confidence. So to understand how much God had loved me and how he had been willing to sacrifice himself for me, but also how he called me to love other people was inspiring for me to have this vision of, okay, this is what a Christian does. Like that's someone who loves people and who is willing to do something in this world, because I felt quite insecure. I felt like I couldn't do anything. So I feel like God really moved powerful in my life as a young teen to show me like who he really was and what he could do with my life.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you guys. And even with you, Joakim, we had Lisa on a couple of weeks
Yeah.
ago, and that was awesome. And so she name called you a little bit, but it
Right.
seems like you kind of led the way with the Denmark
Right.
Kingdom Kids. So good job with that, bro.
And that's encouraging because like there is quite a big gap between us, and I think sometimes you don't notice who's looking at you, and like sometimes you don't think about like what you go through and like how it can help others. So I'm very honored that and grateful that Lisa found something useful in
Hmm.
looking at me.
Yeah. And so you guys both grew up in the church,
Yes.
being around the church, right? What would take you from kind of like the comfort of your home church, people that you've known all the time? What would make you want to leave that and go serve on Revive?
It's a good question. I think for me there was many reasons that came together. Like I was at a time where I was thinking about what I want to do with my life in terms of faith, also because many of my people that I had grown up around, like they were either getting married and settling down, or some of them were having struggles with their faith. And I was thinking like, okay, what do I want to do? And then I heard about this program, and it sounded inspiring to really like be all out in the mission for a year, but also quite scary. And then I knew some people there, like some people who had gone before. I knew that Anya was probably gonna go. So that was also a
Come on, Anya.
motivation, to be honest. Uh, yeah, but also um, this idea to see a small church be revived, like coming myself from a small church of 25 disciples today, and wanting to go and learn and see like, okay, what can it look like to help a small church be revived? Because I've been in bigger churches, like internships, and it was fun and we learned a lot, but it would be cool to like see how do you help a small church actually and to bring back. And that's what we're prayerfully in the process of doing now.
No, and definitely want to talk a little bit about that. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, for me, I think so actually I got to know about Revive during my vacation trip to Moscow. And so I met some girls who said like, oh, and that time I was considering what should I do with like, what should be my next step? I was thinking about like different opportunities to like go and surf somewhere. And I was like praying and fasting and just to see where I can go. And it was like a long period. And during that period, I met some girls who were like, I actually don't know about Revive. And I was like, no, what is that? And it was like after first Revive, I think. So it was like long time ago. And I was very inspired just to hear that it's like a group of people who are like going and reviving church and like doing a lot of mission and studying the Bible with people. And I just before I took part in some mission trips and they were quite small, but I just remember this feeling of like going somewhere, like talking to people about God and like studying the Bible, and it's just so encouraging always. Though it's always challenging, there always something is going on, but it always like give you this good tiredness and a good feeling of like God is using me. So it's like searching where I can be useful for God. Though we would do different things in my city also, And yeah, I enjoyed that also, but I was like, okay, maybe like I can give more time to God. And I thought maybe Revive is my opportunity to do it.
I love that idea of you can be tired or exhausted from like many things, right? But that feeling you get after you've worked hard, you've shared your faith, you've been in Bible studies, and feeling tired from that, there's like a different sense of fulfillment.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
And so if you had, it sounds like even with your church, you guys had things going on in your church or ways you could have maybe served in your church. What were you doing at the time? Were you working with were you in school? And
Yeah,
how
it
did you
was
decide
time.
like,
Yeah. Like I was working at school and actually burned out or because I'm perfectionist and because I was like doing a lot at school and like in Russian schools they demand a lot and you get not that high salary and then I didn't do everything I have to do. And I felt like I did like bare minimum, like I did everything I had to do before God, but also I felt like I need to do more, but I was like, I don't want to do it. It will take too much. During that time, I was like changing and I found another job where I was just like working in a small, like little production studio where we were like making videos for char, like inside a corporate videos.
For the employees too.
Yeah. So this is fun. And so, yeah, during that time, I felt like also it's helped me. I feel like it because I felt more relaxed that to think more about like, okay, I enjoyed everything I did. I did enjoy it. But it's like also, okay, what's next? Like, what can I do for God? So, and like also trying to do different games or events to invite people from my work. And I remember like inviting everybody and nobody would come. And I was like, why they don't come? They don't understand. But yeah.
did you guys have any feeling of, I mean, Joachim kind of mentioned it with the smaller church thing, but you can elaborate more on that, Joachim or Anya. Did you have a feeling of, oh, if I come here, I'm going to leave kind of being more equipped, or I'm going to come back with more training? Or was it more
Yeah.
just a sense of, okay, I want to go for an adventure? Like,
Yeah, I think definitely training. Like, what excited me, because I remember when I joined 3.0 in Chisinau, and there had been a team, 2.0 team in Chisinau already, which I guess was also like it wasn't the plan for Revive to stay so long in Moldova, but they did, and there was a lot of young Christians when you came in, and so I realized, or like, it was, I thought it was like only gonna be going and finding new people. But when I realized like, oh, it's also like going to help young Christians grow and to support them. And like, it's a little bit embarrassing, but like I had almost no experience with that. Like, because I had been like the youngest disciple in the church in Denmark. So like thinking about being a good example, how to share your convictions, how to just support people going through challenges in their faith. Like that was, I think, a learning that I didn't expect to get so much of. I mean, I was excited going into it, and I feel like that has been rewarding just to understand like how to take responsibility for other people because I didn't know so much about it before.
that's great. Yeah, Revive would definitely teach you how to look after younger Christians. But that's great that you had that heart to go out for it. Because that could even be a sense of like, am I really going to do well? Like, it could stop some people from going, but I like that it motivated you to get that training. Anything you want to say to that, Anya?
Well, I would say that back in my church, I had several years of serving, like half time during my studying time. And I got a lot of training during that time. And I was very grateful for that. But then several years, I didn't do any ministry position or like we would just try by our own, like with people there just to do something. And I did feel like I have a lot of things to give, but you don't really sit and think, oh, I can give this, I can give that, like because there's life, like it's a lot of things going on. And so I think during these times, like I was feeling like I would like to do more, but like I didn't have a picture what, so I had to pray more. So I wouldn't really relate to what Joachim's saying. I think it's a bit different for me. But yeah, and I didn't think like, because I did like the idea of going somewhere like several years before. I thought that I would go to open the church, but then the leadership team, like I already got tickets and I already got a suitcase, but then the leadership team sat down and they decided that actually they will not do it now. So I didn't go
Wow.
anywhere. So I felt like this feeling of like I should go somewhere, and my suitcase, which I bought, it was waiting.
So you let me get that right. You had bought a suitcase because there was going to be a local church planting in
Yeah.
somewhere near you. Oh, but then the leadership teams decided they're not going to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool. Yeah, that would
I'm happy.
definitely.
Hopefully Tom's clear with the Siga mission team
Yeah.
another time.
Well, so I know you guys have had a huge impact on Eastern Europe and being here, and there's just like a tree of people who have been impacted through you guys. Maybe you guys can share some of the ways that you've seen God move on your multiple years of doing Revive.
Yeah, I think like just to see a ministry and family develop here in Chisinau has been amazing because we stayed behind after 3.0. Like for 4.0, which was when Holiday joined, was mostly in Romania, and we were a little satellite in Moldova still. Me, Anya, amazing sister from Georgia, Maka, and we remember trying to fight and pray a lot for just the ministry to grow closer and for people to have more ownership, unity, and just to see how that has developed over the years, and to see how people take initiative, how they love to spend time, how they bring their friends to Bible talk, how they all the brothers can lead good Bible talks now. Yeah, to just see people grow and mature and develop more faith. And like many of the people who got baptized around 2 years ago, some of them are now on Revive serving in Chisinau, like doing part-time serving. So that's been cool to see just how the ministry has developed here.
Can you tell a little bit more, speak a little bit more on that? Like, where did you, because I mean, Anya was there a little bit before, but what did you see when you came? What has been like your role these past few years? Yeah, just a little bit so people can know where you're coming from.
Right. When I came, maybe it was different when I came, but there was like 3 campus students, all sisters, and then to see the ministry now, which is like quadrupled or something, something like that, and just God bringing people. Like there was a guy who got baptized, but then who left to England, and then he came back, and he was like our translator, because the guys we didn't have any, we didn't have any Russian speakers in the campus guys, no Romanian speakers. So, and in Moldova, sometimes it's hard to communicate with people. Not all young people know English as much as as they do more in Romania and in Hungary. So just like bringing the people. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to add?
Yeah, like I feel like when I just came, it was a bit earlier. Like a lot of girls just got baptized during that time. It's like last 3 months of spring. And so they are like young disciples, and then it's summer, and you know what's going on with students on the summer. Like they're start to be a bit like more like, and I feel like it was the time when we were like pouring a lot, and just see how some of them are like very solid disciples, and seeing how they join Revive, or like hearing, like being even with them on the Bible studies. It's just amazing to hear their convictions and how they're like growing their firmness and faith, and it's just amazing.
Wow. And then who are some of these people who have joined the Revive team?
So there's Sasha Mikishor, who was baptized, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
And what's Sasha's story?
Which we can share. There's some
Okay.
some crazy
You can
details, but it's very
share the
faithful. Like
overview.
she was coming for a long time, but she eventually made the decision to become a disciple. And like she's an architecture student, so she has like crazy schedule, but she's still like even before she was on Revive, she found many ways to serve. And like we would do these quiz nights that would bring a lot of friends out to church. Often she would be the ones arranging them and making the questions. She even made like this really cool. Sadly, the brothers weren't invited, but she made this really cool art night for the sisters. I got to see the products. Anya's painting was very cool. Yeah, and then there's Renat, who's like he was baptized before both of us came.
Yeah, I think
But he
during winter.
he came to church through one of the Kingdom kids. They went to kindergarten together.
No,
I
they
think.
studied at school together at one
Okay.
class.
Okay, they met in school.
So
But he brought him to church, and then Renat was actually more serious about becoming a Christian. It's been super awesome just to see how he's grown throughout the years. Like he's very talented with camera, and like he live streams all our services, and he
that's all the posts.
does all the
There's-
posters for our events, and he like does filming for different people. And he actually brought like a client of his who's a lot older, but Renat shared his faith with him, and now we're studying the Bible, the three of
Wow.
us together. So
That's awesome.
that's really cool, like just to see how he's grown. And then there's Luisa, but I don't know if we can claim her. Like she's moved here from Ukraine 3 years ago, but I mean, she does an awesome job. She's leading the Revive team along with Misha, who's Ukrainian Israeli, who was in Romania last year, but who's now. So it's cool to see like the young people. Not that we're so old. People are growing and taking charge.
I agree that group, those people you just mentioned, super encouraging people. Like, I remember, I think it was like my birthday or something. Sasha made like these paintings for me. Like, she gave me
Yo,
these paintings, and I was like, this is like so good. You could sell these
yeah,
for a lot of money, and she just gave me them, and I felt so considered. Like, she gave me them for my birthday, and I was only in Moldova for what, like 2 weeks. And she gave me these. And then Ranat, even this year, he gave me this because he knows like I like Japan. He gave me this postcard with like this Japanese train, and he wrote this really kind message on it. And I also felt very like, wow, like these guys are so loving, and
that's so sweet.
it's inspiring to see people like that first revivers come into their church, and kind of God has used that momentum. Like God uses new things to give people like a spark of interest, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool to see that even after that they've kind of received such gratitude from that they're like, okay, let me give time and let me actually go and help the Revive team. And they're students right now, right? They're still like
yeah,
in
like
school.
they're part-time revivers actually, so they're doing full-time studies on the side, but still.
Yeah, so that to me is super cool, and well done to you guys for showing them love and showing them a great example of what it looks like to be a disciple.
And
I wanted to ask you guys, maybe you could share a couple things, maybe one each, like one thing that you've learned from your experience on Revive.
do you want to go first, or should I could go first. Yeah, there was like a theme. I mean, there's a lot of lessons every year, but maybe the one that stands the clearest was like during my first year when I was thinking about what to do with the future. Like I had come on Revive thinking that it's just a one-time thing or like 1 year thing, and I'll go home to Denmark. Like, and I was thinking like about serving full time and thinking about like how God could use me and if I was gonna date Anya. There was the scripture in Isaiah, now I forget where exactly it is, but it says like talks about how God will show the blind the way that they have not seen before. And I realized like because I think I had a lot of fear and I had a lot of like limitations of what I thought that God could use me for. And so I was like, no, it's too scary to stay here and to lead something, to take responsibility for something, like to be full time, or like I was very scared about that. But I think just God showed me through just getting into this rhythm of serving and sharing your faith and reading Bible with people and helping people become Christians and helping young Christians. Like that was the most meaningful I could do. And if I could do that for full time, like why not?
Mm.
So I think try to have God's vision of what you can do and not your own, I think was a lesson.
Wow, that's a great lesson to learn. Thank you.
Yeah. And for me, I think it's kind of two things. But first, the scripture of God is always working. Not always we see it, but he does work all the time. Second is kind of mixed with that, that we need to, like I personally need to be really humble, because sometimes I can take, or like I expect something, and instead of asking God, God, what are you doing? Like, where are you leading people? What are you teaching us? And having this humble heart, like I might like be like prideful and vice versa. So I feel like what I learned kind of is to notice little things, how God is working. And because in lives, like we expect different things, and not always everything happens very quickly. Like some things move during these 3 years. Like it's been ups and downs and ups and downs. And just like, but I noticed in every little step that God was taking care of it. He's in control. Like we can be trying like our best, that's true, and not like sit on the sofa doing nothing. It's not about that, but just to have this attitude of noticing and understanding that he is not like not answering, but he's doing something and we just don't understand yet. Yeah, kind of something like that.
Very, very good answer. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on, and thank you for sharing. What's next for you guys?
So yeah, like as we said, we just submitted our documents for Denmark, and so we'll see. Like we're hoping to move in February, March sometime, but it's in God's hands. I have a contract here until end of January, and then we plan to move back to Denmark and help out in the church there. We're currently praying and planning with the leadership there to figure out what's the plan, how can we best help the church, and yeah, so we'll see. Maybe there'll be a Revive Denmark, maybe it'll be slightly different format.
Mm,
Praying that something can happen, and super encouraged that Lisa is getting great knowledge right now in Bulgaria, and and for the brothers and sisters who are there serving right now.
mm,
That's the humble plan,
awesome.
but hopefully
That's a great plan.
God is
I'll
not
be praying for
laughing
it.
at us so much with that.
No, I'm sure he's not. And I think if someone listens to this and they want to help in Denmark, is there even like a chance of that? Like, is that something that you guys are looking for?
For sure. I mean, like people can move in many different ways. Like uh, we've had great, just even people coming as exchange students, or there was an American family where the husband took a job there. Like just their presence in the church and support was really helpful the period that they was there. So even if you're a student, you can come to Denmark, great universities.
I mean, I think I said this last time, but I love Copenhagen. I mean, I've only been to Copenhagen in Denmark, but I love Copenhagen,
We
and
love
it's an
having you.
incredible place. Thank you. Yeah, and Joachim's family were great hosts. So, guys, if you are listening to this and you have any desire, or for some reason Copenhagen's been popping up on your Google ads for a long time, maybe this is your sign to think about it. And I'll put Joakim and Anya's contact in the description for this video, so they can
Please
contact
do.
you. And one final question, guys. What would you say? You guys have been on Revive many years, and now you're even watching a Revive team.
Right.
What advice would you give to someone who is thinking of applying for Revive?
I mean, praying fast about it, for sure. But I think also, yeah, think about like, I mean, there's the name of the program is Revive, and it is about reviving a church, and that is gonna teach you a lot, but it's also like, it is ultimately a huge service that you're giving to people that you wouldn't know otherwise, in a country that you wouldn't know otherwise, and maybe a language that you wouldn't know otherwise. So I think to really have the heart to come to lay yourself down which can sound harsh, but I think like it's going to be so much more fruitful. And I mean, that's what the scripture, what Jesus says in John 12, like only if the kernel of wheat goes to the ground and dies, will come fruit. It will bear 30, 60 or 100-fold. This was Lena wouldn't share this, but of course this is from Jesus. But Lena wouldn't share it at the beginning, if I remember. And I think it encapsulates the attitude well. So to really consider that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like you said, everything. Well, if you want to come, obviously fast, pray, and come.
That's awesome.
In that
I
order.
like that.
Don't remember the third step, to come.
Thank you guys so much for joining this, and thank you for sharing your hearts and your lives. Guys, Joakim and Anya honestly are a super inspiring couple. They've served with all their hearts and really have impacted so many people. So thank you all for listening to this episode, and thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Kaladay, for all that you're doing. You're an amazing host. It was lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Revival podcast. If you found this episode helpful, then please subscribe and leave a review. Share this episode with someone who you feel could benefit from this. We pray that God will bring a spiritual revival to you, to the church, and to all the nations.